everybody, I'm Allie, and welcome to my Y&R chat vlog for Sunday, September 26th. At 9 p.m. every night, I want all of us Y&R viewers to look up at the moon and know that together we are all safe and thinking of one another on that night. Okay. I'm making fun of it, but Nina and Chance's goodbye was so sweet and very sad. I was weeping. You know me, of course I was weeping through the whole thing. And it was also very sad this week to see Nina breaking up with Paul. What was she thinking? Why would she break up with Paul right now? This is when she needs him most. It was a very sad week. I think Paul is probably having the worst week ever. I don't know, that was very sad. Does anybody know the contract status of Trisha Cast? She's gonna leave. I can feel it. I can feel everything kind of wrapping up, and I know that she's probably gonna be leaving. Does anybody know? If so, leave me a comment. Let me know if she's gonna be staying around. And Chris too. How long is she gonna be staying for? I was happy to see Nina and Ronan reconcile this week, and it was kind of looking like Ronan was gonna be going away too. But later in the week, he showed up at Heather's office, saying that he was going to be overseeing the Pomerantz investigation, which makes me think that maybe the plan was to bring Ronan in and then have he and Chance ride off together into the sunset, but maybe, just maybe, the fan reaction to Ronan was enough to change the tides a little bit. It was lovely to see Sharon and Nick together once again in their old home for the first time this week. They were playing with Faith, and it just something about it felt like old times, and it felt so right, in my opinion. Kind of like everything had come full circle, you know. Cassie's prediction came true, and their whole family was back together for one little moment. So let's hear your reactions to the new Noah. Leave me a comment. Let me know your first impression. My first impression, just obviously I can't say, you know, too much. He's only had 1 or 2 scenes, but at first blush, I kind of feel like the old Noah was a little bit more like Nick's son. You know, he was kind of all-American boy, sporty, and this new Noah he's really cute and he's very natural, but he seems more of an artist boy, you know, like maybe he's a little more indie, he's a little bit more of a rebel. So I don't know where we're going with this. It seems like it's going to be in a completely different direction. Is he back in Genoa City just to help Nick and Sharon back to their inevitable reunion? Or, I don't know, maybe we're gonna see some Abby-style rebellion happening here? I don't know, we'll have to see. Phyllis and Jack are hot together. They just have magic, don't you think? They almost slept together this week. And I had my fingers and everything else on my body crossed that they would do it. I just love Phyllis and Jack as a couple. It hurt me when they broke up, and I really, even though I enjoyed Phyllis and Nick and some of other Jack's relationships along the way, I would love nothing more than to see Phyllis and Jack back together. I think they're a great couple. I'm curious to know how you guys think and feel about that, especially the Jack fans. Do you guys like Phyllis and Jack together? Because I certainly do. I love them as a couple, but I do not want to see Phyllis using Jack or Jack using Phyllis as a rebound, you know? I think that, you know, Phyllis realized that she loves Jack and that she didn't want to use him as a rebound. And I love that they had this physical chemistry, but then they had this moment of understanding. And I mean, really, they both could have run upstairs and had wild, passionate sex, and that would have made me very happy to see on screen, but it means a lot that their love for each other goes a lot deeper than physical chemistry. So I think there's hope for a relationship yet. I think all signs are pointing to, yes, this could potentially happen. And Jack, he is a man. He had some needs this week. He had to get out some of his sexual aggression somehow. He was a horn dog this week. So he had to get that out of his system. But why did it have to be with Sky? I don't know. I'm surprised that Jack would even consider dipping his pen into Adam's inkwell. Yuck. Well, I don't know. I think Jack probably just needed to explore that. But he better really not get used to it, because as much as Sky has been standing up to Adam lately, we may just find her in pieces beneath the floorboard sometime soon, leaving Adam to be the sole inheritor of all that cash. So Sky, you better be careful who you're messing with. This week, Abby turned down a big fat inheritance check from Victor and the opportunity to open up an entertainment division at Newman Enterprises. By the way, I'd bend over backwards to have that opportunity that she just so casually tossed aside. But then again, you know, you kind of have to respect Abby in a way for recognizing that working at Newman is code for being under Victor's thumb, you know, and she realized that that's not where she wants to be. That's exactly where Nick and Victoria have always been, and she realized that that's not the path that she wants to take, and you kind of have to respect her for at least knowing what she wants. What I'm starting to realize about Abby is that she is exactly the opposite of Victoria. Victoria is the daughter who always wanted to please Daddy, no matter what sacrifice it meant in her personal life. And Abby is just exactly the opposite of that. In a way, I think Abby is exactly the kind of person that Victoria wishes she was. You know, Victoria has to struggle against her instinct to want to be Daddy's little girl. This week, Victoria was kind of weighing her options as what she wants to do for a career, and she mentioned in jest the potential of working with Abby, and I really like that idea. I mean, she just kind of threw it out there, but it was actually quite brilliant. I love the idea of Victoria and Abby working together on a new project, maybe like building a TV studio, or having a radio station, or maybe making a film. Like, can you imagine all of the really cool storyline potential that would be around that? I think that would be really cool. I mean, Victoria in a way would be at the head of this media empire, and she could compete with Billy, and Abby, of course, you know, would probably end up competing head to head with Victor, which I would really love, because, oh yeah, it would really piss Victor off. Nikki has gone over the edge. You know, I'm enjoying seeing more Nikki, but it's really hard to watch her struggling. She's deep down right now. And it's really even harder for me to watch her try to open up to Victor, want to open up to Victor, only to have him get distracted and brush her off to the side the way he always has. Nikki tried to confide in Paul this week with her concerns about Victor, which I felt was a little bit of a slap in the face to Paul, considering Nikki left Paul, who was a really great guy, for Victor. Poor Paul cannot keep a woman, and he's such a good guy too. But you know, I'm a fan of Nikki and Victor. I think I'll always be a sucker for Nikki and Victor, but I can tell you this, if Nikki and Paul were still together, Paul would have noticed immediately that Nikki was drinking again, or at least thinking about it. He would have put a stop to it. I'm sure he wouldn't even have let it get as far as it already has. I don't blame Victor for Nikki's drinking. I blame Maggie for her own actions in getting, you know, coercing Nikki to drink. I blame Victor for ignoring his soon-to-be wife at a time when she needs him most, you know? Actually, just as I was kind of getting a little bit bored thinking about where another drinking storyline was going to be headed, especially when Nikki's involved, who steps up to the pulpit but Deacon? And you all know how I feel about Deacon. I love him! And I love that now he's getting injected into this Nikki storyline. It's kind of like Bobby 2.0. You know, Nikki's gonna have a rebel friend. I love it. I think that befriending Nikki will hopefully help Deacon redeem himself in the eyes of the viewers, because I know there's a lot of you out there that don't like him, and just in the eyes of other people in Genoa City. I want to see him redeemed, and I think this will give Nikki someone to talk to, you know, to someone who's objective, who's not involved in her life and who hasn't known her forever. It'll give her someone to share with and someone to develop a new friendship with. And oh yeah, it'll really piss Victor off! Okay, well, those are this week's vlog thoughts for me, but I can't wait to hear from you. What do you think about the show this week? There are a couple storylines that I skimmed over, so if I missed something, leave me a comment and let me know, or comment on anything that I've said. I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. We had a really good open-ended question last week. If you could kill someone in Genoa City, who would it be? And I got a lot of really good answers. I really enjoyed reading them. I was kind of surprised with how many people said Victor. I mean, I can't imagine Genoa City without Victor. As much as I, you know, get down on him, I can't imagine The Young and the Restless without him. I mean, it's not even like I love to hate him. I just love him. I don't know why. He ticks me off, and I mean, there's so many ways in which he's just wrong, but I think it's just, he just is kind of like this father figure. He's like the father of Genoa City. I couldn't imagine the show without him. I really think all of the principal characters are people that I like, you know, so I was kind of surprised to see some of the answers. We're a vicious group. I love it. I mean, really, that's probably my favorite question so far. It was very interesting to see all of the different ways that you would kill your least favorite characters in Genoa City. So if you haven't watched that video, or more importantly, if you haven't gone back and looked at those comments, please do right now. It's really worth reading. So, I guess that's it for me for now. I do plan on being back next week and talking more about the show. So until then, you want to check out my website. It's alliepuckett.com. You can connect with me throughout the week if you would like to. Otherwise, I will see you next week, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. See you then. Bye.